was like, Darnita, she was like, have you read your book? And I said, of course I read the book. I had to read, I wrote the book. I had to read the book a couple times for editing and everything else. And she was like, no. But have you read the book like you are your client? I mean, you are, you're reading it for the first time. And I said, well, and she was just like, go back and read your book. And I reread it and I was just like, okay. And he keeps taking me back to Mark 10:46. And I was like, okay, here's some interesting information for this book. Okay. And for myself. So, yeah, that's just, that's a bit of to me, it's like a bit of confirmation. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. I am Darnita Samuels, author of The In-Between, What to Do Between the Prayer and the Promise. Today, we're going to be talking about some difficult subjects that we probably are all struggling with. Two things. I'm ready to give up. How do I stay the course? And two, pushing past the fear, even when it's debilitating sometimes. So both of those are life challenges. And we go through many things of bouts of fear. Also, when we want to give up, we push so hard. We've done so much work. We've waited so long. Like, what do we do? Right? And these are really good questions. And I'll say it like this, even though I wrote the book, don't think that I don't battle and face those things myself. Because what happens is when you produce a work, right, then the rubber meets the road. And sometimes the enemy gets real busy with his attacks because one thing he wants to do is thwart your potential. And a lot of times he'll attack you at your weakest points, like I said in the book. And sometimes it's the confidence. Many of us don't have a blueprint of what we're doing, right? You may call it curse breakers in our family. Sometimes it's we have a history of making poor choices and decisions, and now we're trying to do the right thing, applying wisdom and discernment after we've prayed for it. We're also on the road of trying to change our lives and different things like that. And so sometimes the wait gets a little exhaustive and very long. I've been waiting for certain things, even though I wrote in a book. I'm still waiting on certain things. And it's been a very exhaustive process. And along the way, I have also wanted to give up. But remember, we talked previously about having that community, right? And learning how to encourage yourself, even in those times where you're like, okay, this is a stretch of my faith, because everybody talks about the faith the size of a mustard seed. And that's true. But if you actually research what a mustard seed does, it actually grows into an edible plant that gets huge. And it's sustaining. It's life-giving. It's nutrients. It's very nourishing for our bodies, right? Which is the temple that God gave us. And so don't think that your faith is supposed to stay that size. And so you don't get a bigger faith level by everything being easy. You're going to have trials. You're going to have tribulations. You're going to have hard times. You're going to have times where everything is good and you're still feeling a little like, what's happening here? Like, yes, understand and count it all joy, as it says in the book of James, because your faith is being tested. And in your testing, it will grow. It's going to strengthen. It's going to solidify. But then also, as you're trying to go to the next level, just understand that faith got you to the one level, but it's going to have to be increased to get you to the next level. So just understand when they say, glory to glory, faith to faith, that's a level. It's like walking up a steep stairs. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go up a regular stair, right? One or two, real easy. But a one or two that are steep, you're sitting over there like, wait a minute, hold on. Why does my chest feel so tight a little bit here, right? But then as you're going on and you're continuing to push forward, you're continuing to go, you're listening to God, you're talking to him and everything else, but also your breath is getting faint because you know that he has a plan for you. You know what he has told you, but sometimes it's hard for us to see the distance. Reach out to that community. That community are of encouragers and also correctors and people who love and nurture you can also help you stay the path. And even when you want to cry and break something and everything else, God is with you still. He is on the path. He's on the journey. He gave you the gift of direction. Just understand that he does not count your tears. And he's just like thinking they're all frivolous. No, every tear matters for him. And just understand that he is using it for the benefit of you and your growth and the potential that he sees in you and where he is taking you if you allow him and don't give up. Another thing, encourage yourself. In the book, I talk about having different scriptures that you meditate and use for encouragement during your various seasons of wait. And you might be waiting for 3 things at the same time, but then at the same time, 4 other things have come to pass and fruition. And so, yes, use all those in different seasons. You may have different verses for different situations. That's fine, because the word of God is always true. And it is a guide and it's a teacher. And so utilize your resources that he is giving you. Learn how to encourage yourself. Use this opportunity to test yourself as you are testing your faith as well. So don't give up. And even when it gets exhausted, say it. I say it all the time. My friends ask me, how you doing? I'm exhausted, but I'm encouraged. Or even when I'm not, I'm calling them like, your girl needs some help right now. And guess what? They dig in and they're like, what you need? When I go to God, I'm like, God, I don't know. I really don't know what you're doing. Because had you left it up to me, this would have been a done deal 20 years ago. And at the same time, I just imagine God like, yeah, I know. And then I already know how it wouldn't have turned out if I had left it to your own understanding. But that's why he is who he is. And the thing is, don't hide your emotions from him. So when you're hurt, when you're hesitant, when you are elated, whatever it is, give it over to him because he already knows anyway. He is not dumb. If he is all present, all knowing, right, and always there, why wouldn't he know exactly how you feel anyway, whether you want to admit it to yourself or the world or not? So I hope that serves as an encouragement on how to stay the course. Also, here's another one. Take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath, because sometimes we work ourselves up into this anxious state and we live there. Remember I talked about survival mode? So then if you're a survivalist like myself, then you start kicking in and you start thinking about all these game plans and you're planning from A to Z. And then if you're really a survivalist like me, you go to the pit because you're like, okay, I know the shoe is going to drop, right? It's just, how hard is it going to drop? Is it going to break my kneecap? So will I need surgery, or am I going to be an amputee? And all at the same time, you're game planning for every scenario. But that's when you are leaning on our own understanding. We're not going to him and not utilizing our ultimate guide, source, and resource, right? And so that's when we have to step back and be like, okay, God, let me rest in you. And let me tell you, it looks different for everybody. And that's why you got to have that relationship with God to hear his voice. Because my prayer lately has been, what does it mean for me to rest in you? Truly rest. Not just be like, okay, I'm going to just sit here real quick, binge watch a TV show, scroll on social media, read a book or anything like that. No. Because at that same time, you might be reading, you might be watching TV, you might be scrolling, you're picking up information, but half of yourself is, you're not very present. You're disconnected because in the other parts of your mind, you're planning. And that's not real rest. That's not real submission. And that's definitely not obedience at all. So just understand, take a deep breath, pray and ask him, what does rest look like? How do I give this over to you truly, for real? Like, give it over to you. Not one of those things where it's just like, oh, I'm going to just slide it over and keep my finger on it, right? No, give it up. Let it go. So when you can actually do this, that means there's nothing in your hands. You're letting it go and you're actually raising your hands. This is also a posture of heart right here. And so just understand that when we get here for real, whether it's like, or whether it's like, hey, that's when he is in it and he can really move in it and do the work that he wants to do in it. Notice I said he wants to do, not you want him to do. He wants to do. Okay.